It's us again, and now we have Margaret Almon, as promised, who has an MS in Library and Information Science from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's see, did you meet any of the 2001 characters there?
No.
Because I think the computer expert came from there, Dr. Chandra, as I recall. And if I could ever pronounce the full name, I would earn $50 on the spot. An MFA of Creative Writing from the University of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Eugene, we just had somebody from...
Bill Memmer.
Yes.
He came right after I graduated. So.
Oh, I see. You paved the way for him, huh?
I guess so.
Okay. And a BA in Women's Studies and Creative Writing at Hampshire College of Amherst, Massachusetts. Let's see. You're a medical librarian.
Yes, I am. Working at a hospital in Norristown.
Mm-hmm. And before that, you were a reference librarian at the University of Scranton.
Right.
Where they study coal and things, I imagine.
Well, yes, that's all around.
Okay, let's see. Taught a number of workshops.
Mm-hmm.
This one's interesting. Poetry Immersion, the YMCA summer session in Champaign, Illinois. How does one immerse oneself in poetry? Do you get a pile of books and just kind of hold your nose and dive in, or
build a wall? Yeah.
Build a wall.
No. Mm-hmm. I tried to offer an experience that as much poetry as they could handle reading, I would encourage them to read, because that seems to be the missing connection a lot of the time, is students actually reading other people's work. So.
Five Senses Poetry Workshop.
Yes, I just finished that Carol Heffley's Poetry Weekend. Yeah. Very interesting to see. I brought in different samples of things from the different senses, seeing what associations people have with those.
Do you recommend any of the senses over the others?
No, except, sight is the one that seems to get used a lot, and so it's nice to try some of the other ones.
I've written a few smelly poems in my time, if that's any.
The least used, so.
Well, I've also been accused of being lacking in taste, but that's another story altogether. Let's see. You have some awards on your wall. NEA Fellowship, Sarah Henderson Hay Award.
Out of Pittsburgh Quarterly.
Who was Sarah Henderson Hay?
She was a Pittsburgh poet. Wrote quite a few books. Not much remembered now, but I found a book of hers when I was in Pittsburgh, and it was very interesting.
And you've been in a number of peculiar, or rather interesting publications. Blue Unicorn, we'll take that out later. Blue Unicorn, Calyx, Cream City Review, Fireweed, Hayden's Ferry Review, the Pittsburgh Quarterly, the Seattle Review. A lot of reviews flying around today.
That's right, yeah.
All right, how about a sample?
Sure. This first poem was inspired after reading a wonderful book by Margaret Wertheim, where she talked about physics as being a kind of priesthood, not unlike the Catholic Church. And it's called Remainders. The disciples were women. Pythagoras, unlike Christ, made them part of his circle. The test was to remain silent for 5 years, eat no meat, own no property. Wasn't this an equivalent to being women? Hypatia taught everyone mathematics. Christians, Jews, pagans. She would not convert, and was killed by the Christians. They raised the skin of her body with sharp shells until her breath departed. They quartered her body. They brought the quarters to Cineron and burnt them to ashes. How does conversion work? Modern mathematicians used calculators, women dividing in their heads, doing the work of calculation. Men remained in theory. In schools of silence, girls say, if we like math, will boys still like us? Math remained outside us. We used pencils and paper. Math in our heads was virtuous, brilliant, carefully holding onto the remainders of an uneven equation. We never imagined that someone invented the Pythagorean theorem. Did someone invent God? 3 wise men, astronomers, found Jesus by following a star. Where will our math lead? Math in our heads seems like prayer. Do we have a head for numbers or prayers, counting blessings, counting sheep, falling asleep, calming our anger, our sadness? Rosary beads are about numbers, like an abacus. The number of Hail Marys is important. The beads take on what is beyond our fingers. What are we figuring out? My prayers never move farther than my chest. I fall into my own heart. What was the world before number, before a woman could be split into 4 pieces, before one woman seemed like many? Some say that we read one poem by a woman in a book of hundreds of men and always imagine there were more, and then later we do not remember any.
So instead of loaves and fishes, we have quarks and muons.
A different kind of sacrament, I guess.
Or, for our Canadian friends, Saskatchewans.
Well, I am Canadian, but...
All right, well, you must have run into that particle at one time or another. Are all your poems scientific in nature?
I've noticed quite a few of them have been veering towards that, which I actually find to be very interesting.
Okay, how about another?
Sure. This one was written after basically nothing happened, which I found very interesting, like Gail Warner. Trying to write a poem to convey that even though no tragedy happened, there was still something going on. The Suit of Women for Aaron. This will be our place, this field we are crossing, a place for the dumb bodies of women. It will be made for us like a bed. Lost gloves look like hands in the sprawl of the refuse. Can we forgive ourselves for running out of light? We follow the skein of the river through the dark, toward pinpricks of porch lights. We feel the mistake of our skirts, bare legs in the grope of headlights, the pickup truck, its empty bed like a furrowed field, 2 men in the front seat driving the river, wheels straddling the cinder path. Our scattered clothes would look like women. Who would be able to forgive our leaving the house, turning the doorknob with our hands? Like paper dolls we are fused hand to hand. There is no other trick with scissors that delights like cutting through folds of paper. Your mother forgave the litter of odd-shaped confetti, the low table of fields safe for little girls. We are clearly cut as women, the long hair, ribbons shimmering like the river. The land is heavy with water, drinking from the river, a sodden quilt with patches of broken glass. For our hands there would be only the armor of thimbles, the suit of women, protecting one fingertip in the dimming parlor light. The cloth smells of skin, a sweat-scented field. The embroidery hoop skews the grain, fabric gives. Do we understand this grip, forgive our bodies greasy with sweat, slick as the river? It is that feeling in dark parking lots that were once fields. I place my keys between my fingers, try to make hands that could defend me, walking from streetlight to streetlight. 2 of us, women, walking at night, careless women, not counting our hours. Will these men forgive us? We look to the farmhouses, boxes of light. We would stay inside forever, but the river divides them from us, and the truck is not stopping, door handles lying flat, wheels carrying mud to another field. Stitch these scraps, 2 women in a field with no relief, no giving way of the locked hands, fear caught in gold-threaded light, in the satin of the river.
Does your medical librarian job inspire any of this?
I've noticed the residents come in and do their case studies, and I listen to their recitations of all the things that can go wrong in the human body, and I think that it does have an effect on me.
What would you do if Optima walked in one day and became a case study?
Well, I think I'd have to wait and hear what happened.
All right, perhaps another poem then.
When I was living in Amherst and going to school, it seemed like the focal point, of course, was Emily Dickinson, and that it was a kind of shrine that people came to visit, and I did go find her grave, so that seemed to be the thing to do. But I took the bus from the school I was going to over to Hadley, and it followed the same route that she used to follow, in horse and carriage, of course.
Hadley?
On the bus from Amherst to Mount Holyoke. Holyoke.
Oh, okay.
For Emily Dickinson. I thought of you looking at the dashed lines in my palms made by my fingernails. I am one of those scribblers. My writing refuses the comb, each tooth striating the scalp beneath the hair. You would not submit to magazines, instead drawing yourself into your room, binding poems together, making spines of thread. I see apple trees through the window. You thought you must be Eve, and as I look at the misshapen apples of my fists, I know I also want others to taste what I have bitten into.
At least finding something that is still an apple and not any little visitors in there. What else do you have?
I have a short poem here. When I was getting ready to have my wisdom teeth out, everybody felt the need to tell me as many stories as they possibly could, horror stories.
Yes, people tend to take a great delight in doing that sort of thing.
Yes, and so I ended up writing this poem after hearing enough of these stories. Wisdom teeth. Stories of surgery are embedded in my jaw, roots long, tough like whips. My mother, the ether mask was like a pillow pressed to her nose, her mouth suffocating. The swollen bruises were like black marbles. My father's dentist was a hypnotist, but my father would not attach himself to the pocket watch's arcing blur, did not clamp his jaw down in pain at the chipping of bone without anesthetic. As I open my mouth telling these stories, I think of the windows teeth make in x-rays. There is nothing you can see through them that is not broken, fragmented.
I'm fascinated with the idea of a dentist as hypnotist. I don't think I could keep my eyes on the watch either. Elle, has Optima ever had a dental problem?
Oh no, she has perfect teeth.
That's a relief. It's hard to be the focus of an epic if you don't have perfect teeth. Margaret, do you have any unfulfilled ambitions?
I'm sending a book out, so I would be interested in seeing that come into print. And,
Is this going to be an epic as well?
No.
Mathematics?
That will be a part of it, I'm sure.
A little Bertrand Russell here and there, perhaps?
Maybe.
Maybe. Perhaps a small one?
Let me see if I have something short here. On Renoir's Sleeping Girl with a Cat. I want to know she is not dead. Soon she will wake and hungry reach for bread, pears, whatever is on the table. Or maybe she's not sleeping, but waiting, and her eyes ache. Behind her lids is the color of the painter's backdrop, light faltering through blood and skin. She cannot see herself in this painting. At least after death, the cool metal of coins would solve her eyes. She wants to be sleeping, and I want her dream to be about the flowers in her hat, each petal elongating into barbs, stems hard as cartilage, sharpening to quills. The painter pulled one soft sleeve off her shoulder, gently as if he might smudge her skin. The skirt is loose between her legs, the way sheets cover furniture, and there is the cat gray in her lap. She is sitting still, as much for the cat as for the man. The fur smells of dirt and leaves, and later the girl will find hairs on her skirt, threads too short for a needle, nothing that can be stitched into place, nothing useful.
Thank you, Margaret Almon, for coming on Poet to Poet. And Elle as well. I am so charmed by the company that I am inspired to throw in one of my own. It's called I'll Think to That. She instinctively knew what you were thinking. You instinctively knew what she was thinking. The Vice Squad instinctively knew what the both of you were thinking. The judge, however, insisted on burden of proof. You know, there are dates and there are dates. Where we come from, it gets a little crazy. Anyway, we were glad to be here at Lafayette College with these charming young ladies, Margaret Almon and Eleanor Warner. And we thank you for coming on. We thank you for watching Poet to Poet, and we'll be back soon.